How you doing, guys and gals? My name's Doug Wilson, and this is Yellowhawk Customs Outdoors YouTube channel. We got a treat for you on this video. If you're into really high quality military / civilian knives, then I got a treat for you on this video. You guys stay tuned, and we're going to check this puppy out. The Phobos TIER1. Please, don't go anywhere. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, a beer, or whatever. This is going to be a pretty neat video. Okay, so the Phobos TIER1. Just a little bit about Phobos knives. Phobos, F-O-B-O-S, stands for operators by operators. Get it? Phobos. The company's owned by a buddy of mine. His name is Eric Hansen. He was an 18 Delta in a Special Forces group, actually the 5th Special Forces group. And 18 Delta is a Special Operations medic. All right, here's the knife. Now they have several different designs out on the market now through Phobos Knives, and I'm pretty sure Eric designed all of them. Okay, so basically what you got here is you got a Green Beret who's designing knives for military and civilian use. So they're going to be bomb-proof. That's number one, right? The TIER1 is right at 1/4 inch thick. It's just, I tell you, it's a hair under 1/4 inch. For all intents and purposes, 1/4 inch thick. You know how some knife companies, you really have to question why a certain knife is designed the way it is, especially if they say, well, here's what we designed it for, and it's designed this way because, and then you look at the knife and you go, really? I'm not getting that, right? Well, when it comes to Phobos knives, every knife is designed for a purpose, and every knife overlaps with the next knife. You get what I'm saying? Overlapping uses. For instance, okay, the mini TIER1, right? Can feather stick well, and so can this one. The bigger, the TIER1, right? TIER1 mini can feather, and the TIER1 can feather. Okay, overlapping uses, right? The TIER1 mini is not a really good chopper. It's a small knife. But this guy chops a whole lot better than the TIER1 mini. Get what I'm saying? So, really well-designed knives. He did a great... I tell you, when I look at Phobos knives, I see professional. That's a professional knife right there, okay? There isn't a whole lot of other knife makers out there who can claim to have that milieu, that aura about them, you know, that spirit, right? I mean, just look at the knife. Now, I'm not telling you what this is designed for, because Eric Hansen's going to have to tell you that. He's the designer, right? Just like if you take my Delta Whiskey Infinity, the one that I designed, that, you know, a lot of guys are liking that knife, but you can't really ask anybody else why it's designed that way. You got to ask me. I designed it, right? Well, it's the same way with Phobos or any other knife out there. If you want to know why it's designed the way it is, ask Eric, right? You could tell some of the features got a choke-up choil. Duh. What's that for, right? Okay? Very comfortable. Really, these are special designs. And he designs knives intently, right? His intention is function, strength, durability, toughness, wear resistance. There are, you know, good knife designers, and then there are really good knife designers, right? I think Eric's a really good knife designer. And when you put this thing in your hand, the first thing you're going to say is it's comfortable, okay? And for me, that is a high priority. If I'm going to have a knife in my hand, doing whatever with it, right, I want it to be comfortable. Because when I'm in the field, usually I have my knife in my hand for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I'm building something or making a bunch of feather sticks or whatever, okay? Really, really tough, functional blades, all right? And you know, let's be honest, they got that wow, badass factor as well, okay? All right, so I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of specs, okay? You can go to the Phobos website, check that out. I'm just telling you, when I put this knife in my hand, it is very comfortable, okay? When you choke up, okay, it's very comfortable. I have no problem with working with this knife. This has a forward choke-up choil, and this knife is heavy enough to chop, okay? So you can also chop with this knife as well, if you were so inclined, all right? Okay, so micarta scales. Now you have your choice of all kinds of different scales. Eric even customizes these for people, okay? All of his knives he will customize for you. Just have to get in touch with him, okay? Go to the Phobos website, get in touch with Eric Hansen, and he can take it from there. Now I'm not, you know, in the field using this knife, because this is going to be used for taking photos and whatnot, high quality marketing photos. So we don't want to mess up the blade by testing it. I already know how these work, right? I know how they function. I have a Phobos Legion, right, of my own. They're nice knives, okay? And I have no doubt that if you buy one, you're going to reap the benefits of a high quality, top shelf knife, right? Now, Eric asked me to build this for specific reasons, okay? One of the reasons is because every knife that he has in his arsenal in Phobos, you know, Phobos's designs, comes with a quality leather sheath. And I want to say this about their leather sheaths. These are the best leather sheaths on any production knife for the money that I have ever seen, okay? These are really well made. This is custom sheath work at a production sheath price, okay? However, it is no surprise to me that there are a lot of guys who want KYDEX, all right? And they want something up and above, right, a regular KYDEX sheath, right, from just any old maker, right? Doesn't matter who you get it made from. I just need a sheath to hold my knife, right? There's some guys who want a really specialized custom piece of work for such a nice knife, right? So Eric asked me to build this so that guys know that he's going to recommend for a really custom all-out sheath system that has great retention, right? That you're never going to have to question in the field. You're never going to have to question the options that you order on it. It's all top-notch, top-shelf, top quality, okay? I make sure of it. That my name goes on every one of these sheaths that I build, okay? And I won't put my name on it unless I would use it in the field myself, okay? And a lot of the guys, they already know that I'm pretty picky about the gear that I carry in the field, right? So he asked me to build this for this particular knife so that they can take pictures of it and do YouTube videos, send it to reviewers, that kind of thing, right? All right. And like I say, with most of my sheath systems, it doesn't have to stay the way it is. The way you order it is not the way it has to stay. If you order all these options on it, you don't have to always use all these options. You can take this off. You can take this off. You can take this off. Whatever you want, you can take it off. All right. You can take the Raptor dangler assembly out. Right. Keep it attached to your belt, so that when you want to put it back on, say you want to wear it, attach it to your pack real quick. Right. You're going to do a day hike or whatever. Okay. You can take it back off your pack. Right. And snap this thing back in. It's still on your belt. Right. Then you got it, your dangler again. All right. Eric asked me to help promote Phobos knives by building a really nice modular sheath system for the TIER1. Okay. And that's what I set out to do. Now, I know some of you guys are going to look at this and you're going to say, Doug, that's too much stuff on a sheath. Other guys are going to say, that's not enough. I want more, right? There are two sides to this functionality coin when it comes to what guys desire in a really nice custom sheath system, okay? I set out to build the best custom sheath systems on the market, okay? Not talking about production stuff, you know, production sheaths. These are hand-built, custom sheath systems that you guys tell me how you want them built, okay? So basically, you go to my website, you look around. Now, I'll be honest, that website is packed with information and photos. But the main gist of the website is to help you guys decide what you want, okay? And if you got eyes, if you can see, then all you got to do is look at the photos and say, okay, well, I want this, I want this, I want this. And this system here seems to be most of what I want. And then you text me and tell me what you want, right? You're going to have to spend a little bit of time doing this, right? These are not fly-by-night, one-shot deal sheaths, okay? These are highly customizable. Now, this one is modular. A lot of my sheath systems are modular, meaning, okay, everything works together, right, as a whole, right? But you can also take things off that maybe you don't want to take out into the field that particular weekend, or you're not going to need, or whatever, so you want to take the live fire off, you can do that, okay? If you want to take the Phoenix E05 tactical lighting system off, you can do that, right? And then put it back together without that on it, okay? If you want to take the Raptor dangler assembly and just leave it hooked to your belt, right, until you need it, you can do that. Or you just stash it in your pack somewhere, wear it as a belt carry. You can also take this combat lock belt clip and can it to a 30-degree angle, and what that does is when it's on your belt, it gets that handle up in the air a little bit, makes it more ergonomic to draw. These are just things you're gonna have to trust me with. If you're not familiar with these styles of carry, try them. You really should try them. That's one of my major styles of carry in the field, is that canted, right? Canted, gets the handle up in the air, and it's easier to draw. So basically, it's on your belt like this, and the handle is kind of up in the air a little bit. Now, it depends on the belt you're wearing, the pants you're wearing, that kind of thing, okay? Everybody has a different experience when it comes to different carries. And you really do have to plan these things out. If this certain belt is not working for you, try another belt, right? You got to dial in your field gear, okay? When I was in SF, and Eric Hansen knows this as well as anybody, the gear that you take into the field can mean the difference between a successful mission and a bolo, you know, a non-successful mission, right? So, basically what we have on this system is a face mount Phoenix EO5 tactical lighting system. That's what I call it, okay? It's a light on the front of the sheath that you can use the light while it's on the sheath. All you have to do is reach down, turn the bezel, right? Get the illumination that you want and leave it on, okay? Now, I chose to put an EO5 on this one, but I could have easily put an E12 on there, an LD02 Phoenix, you know. It depends. I chose to put this one on here because it's the smallest light that Phoenix has that fits all the criteria that I want it to have, except for one. It does not have a detent button on the back, which, if I build it like this, and you can get access to the bezel, okay, while it's on your belt, right, you really don't need that detent button in the back, all right? Whereas the LD02 and the E12 both have a detent button on the back, makes it a little easier. But this is pretty easy to use on your belt, okay? You just, that's it, right? That's how you scroll through the brightnesses. All right? And then when you turn it off, just open up the bezel a little and it's off. Okay, now this is for cross draw. It's in cross draw mode right now. You can use the light while it's on your belt, okay? And basically the knife is sitting there like that on your belt, and all you have to do is nudge the beam of light wherever you want it to go, okay? Just nudge it. It works very well, or I would not use it on my systems. I just wouldn't. If I'm not going to ask you to use something I don't use myself, you know what I mean? So I use these systems. They work great for me. There's no reason why they wouldn't work great for you. And everybody that buys the Sheath systems with a light on it, they're like, yeah, that works, right? All right, so tactical lighting systems got a face mount ferro rod. Okay, they're real easy to take off, right? Real easy to put back on. I mean, really, no big deal. And they are very secure. This ferro rod is not coming off this sheath until you take it off. The light, the same way, okay? It's not coming off until you take it off, all right? You can also take it off, right? Put it in dangler mode. Put it in the other way, like this, right? Put the mil-spec shock cord retention back on it, and you have it in dangler mode. Okay, it's on your, you know, this is right-handed, right? And it's in there like that, right? And you reach down and you actuate it, right? get the setting that you want, and then you reach down, you put that beam of light wherever you want it to go. All right, it's real simple. I tell you, they couldn't get more simple and foolproof, right, than the way I've designed them to work on these sheath systems. Same with the ferro rod. On the side, you have a side mount ceramic hone. Okay, now this is a honer. This is not a sharpener. This is for guys who they use their knife in the field once or twice, then they hone it. Okay, you can hone it with the ceramic and then strop it, or just use the ceramic. It depends on what you're good at. Okay, some guys aren't good at stropping, so they just want to use the ceramic or whatever. Okay, this is another thing where you have to know your gear. You have to know how to use these things in the field. I make it as easy as possible, but if you don't know how to sharpen with a ceramic and you want a ceramic on your sheath, you better learn. You know, and they're very effective. I wouldn't put it on the sheath system if it wasn't very effective. Okay, on the back we got a live fire, right? Now this is what I call sure fire. Okay, in this canister is basically Vaseline and cotton balls on steroids. All right, you fluff it up with your knife or whatever, you light it, you put it down on the ground, and you build your fire on top of it. All right, when the fire gets going, right, you take this out, you close it back up, and you put it back in the right back in the holder, right? Or you could take a little piece of it out, fluff it up, pull it apart, put it on the ground, light it, build your fire on top of it, and leave it. Close it up, put it back in. All right? It works very well. This is sure fire. If you can't get a fire going with this ferro rod and this live fire, you might as well just stay out of the woods. Right? This is, you know, a complete survival system. And I built it this way for guys who like all the bells and whistles, and guys who want something simpler and they want to take all the bells and whistles off sometimes. You can do that with this system as well. Okay? However, this is how I built this for this marketing campaign for Phobos, right? I wanted to put a bunch of stuff on it and then tell guys that they can take stuff off if they need to, right? It's difficult when this is going to Chris Tanner at Prepare My 101 for a review. Okay, as soon as I'm finished with it. So I want to make sure if it's going to be on one of his videos, I want to put some, you know, something comprehensive that is basically a whole survival system for you guys that basically increases your capabilities in the field right on your knife sheath, right? And if there's a time that you don't need the light or need the ferro rod or need the live fire, take them off, right? Go bare bones with it, okay? So you can do that as well. That's why I build them modular like this. And most of them are like this, modular. We can take things off, put things back on, that type of thing, all right? So I realize that Chris Tanner, he doesn't like a whole lot of stuff on his sheath. So he's going to know that he can take everything off if he wants, right? However, he's just going to review this. He's going to pass it on to somebody else. That's where this one's going. All right? So, there it is. It really turned out well. I'm very happy with it. I really like the fact that you can take this Raptor dangler assembly out of here, right? Put it aside or just leave it on your belt and wear this as a cross draw, a belt carry, right? You can take the combat lock belt clip off, can it a little bit so that it gets the handle up in the air a little bit when you're wearing it, like this. Okay? It sits on your belt like that, so it's easier to draw. Okay? So there's a lot of versatility built into these systems. I even have a voodoo dangler dimple here. If in the future you might want a voodoo dangler, but yours is going to be however you want it, right? These are custom built sheath systems. So if you purchase one from me, you're going to tell me exactly what you want on it, and that's how I'm going to build it. Okay? With this one, he could take the combat lock belt clip off, put a molly lock clip on there right in the center, and wear it on his pal's webbing. All right? You don't need a molly lock belt clip if you just have webbing. Regular webbing on your backpack, the combat lock will do just fine. Just put it through the webbing, clip it shut, and you can wear it on your pack. Okay? And you can also take this off, put it in a vertical position, put it on your pack. So I try to think everything for you guys. I don't junk it up. I hate junking up a sheath system with superfluous crap that doesn't work. Okay? These systems work. They've been tested and tested and retested. Right? Alright, there it is. Here's the Raptor dangler assembly. You can use this with one of your other systems if you want. That has a tech lock or a combat lock belt clip. This will turn it into a dangler. Alright? So this is a different kind of KYDEX. It's basket weave. It's a little more pronounced than the other stuff that I use. So I use two different types now. I just got this last week, so I figured I'd use it on these systems. This stuff is really thick. This is the thickest KYDEX that I can get my hands on right now. Okay? The other stuff, the other basket weave, black brick pattern, is pretty thick. This stuff's even thicker. Okay? So there it is, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. This one will go off to Chris Tanner now. And we'll see how Chris Tanner likes it. The Phobos Yellow Hawk Customs Knife and Sheath System. So, I thank you, Eric Hansen, for asking me to do this. It's extremely humbling. Alright? Hope you guys like it. See ya!